I was going to wear a paisley shirt for this, but might have been a bit visually confusing, so I didn't. Afternoon all, I'm Mike, and after talking to a number of my friends, it's become very apparent that no one really listens to albums anymore. All I can say to that is, listen to this. This episode's album is the Comet is Coming's 2019 album, Trust in the Lifeforce of the Deep Mystery. You do not want to know how many takes that took to get right. The Comet is Coming are a London-based band. If I had to put them into a single category, it would be jazz, but there's elements of like psychedelic rock, electronic sort of stuff in there as well. I found them pretty much by accident because the cover art for this album, which I'm displaying now, looked really cool. And if that's not good reason to listen to something, I don't know what is. It's also way too hot in my room, so if you can hear any background noise, that's why. The best song on the album, pretty much undisputedly, is Blood of the Past, featuring Kate Tempest. Nice, heavy sort of bass line running throughout it. A really good spoken word bit in it as well. And I normally hate spoken word. I've got on record as saying that. If you like spoken word, let me know down in the comments what I should be listening to, because has not worked so far. Good lyricism really does sort of speak to you, and in terms of the way that Kate Tempest is captured, the sort of ennui of what life is like nowadays, while this sort of existential dread seeps over it as well, is just really fantastic. If you're going to listen to one song of this album, make it Blood of the Past. Just put it on headphones, because it's an absolute banger. There's those like cool little sound effects, which I mean those are all over the record, to be honest. A worthy headphone listen. Time Wave Zero is also very much worth checking out. For most of the rest of the album, it's very much like sax forward, and that's most of what you're listening to. The arrangement on this is a little more sparse. Everything else has a little more room to breathe. It's one of the more interesting tracks on the album for that reason. So again, if you're some sort of maniac who doesn't like saxophones, A, get in the bin, but B, listen to Time Wave Zero. That's the sort of helpful consumer advice I'm sure you come here for. The closer, The Universe Wakes Up, is also really nice. It kind of feels like it's building to a climax at times, and then it doesn't really get there. It just sort of gets this nice warm glow, and then it's content just to sit there for a while. A great track, but it does suffer a bit in terms of its position on the album. Maybe if they'd swapped this with Blood of the Past, had that as the closer, and then had this towards the end of the first half of the record, that may have been better. It could sort of serve as a palate cleanser as you go into the second half, or something like that, because again, it's a track that unfortunately does fall a bit flat given where it is, but not in and of itself. Maybe I need to listen to the album on shuffle. Just to clarify, I'm not actually advocating for that, because this is a show about albums. You shouldn't listen to albums on shuffle. Well, I have seen a music meme about someone saying I listen to concept albums on shuffle. If any of you do that, you're beyond help. You're just beyond help. Just some quick fire bits about some other tracks now. Summon the Fire is probably the best known track on the record. It's one of the ones that they can do the best live as well. I'll actually link to the full performance down below. It keeps momentum going really nicely with the eighth notes on bass, as well as the drum pattern, which sort of had this unusual snare placement and sort of really keeps it driving forward. And of course, it's not afraid just to let the sax be quiet for a bit and just put some cool sounding noises, because who doesn't like cool sounding noises? Birth of Creation, which in my notes I've managed to put down as Birthday of Creation, is the only acceptable use for wobbles in 2019 or afterwards. I like dubstep as much as the next guy. You know, we all went through it together, but this is really it. I'd finally like to mention Astral Flying. It's a really nice sort of semi-ambient track. It just sounds like you're floating through some futuristic neon city. If you've ever played Final Fantasy VIII, it's like you're floating through Esther. If you haven't played Final Fantasy VIII, then you're probably more popular as a child than me, but this is what it looks like. If you have listened to this album and you did enjoy it, they actually put out, because kind of a companion piece, something called Afterlife. That's got a really stand-up track on it called All That Matters Is the Moments, which again has like a sort of spoken word part over it. So I don't know, if that had been on Trust in Lifeforce of the Deep Mystery, it would have been one of the strongest tracks on the record. So maybe the Comet is Coming are just really good with vocals over them. if you ever see this, 2 more tracks with the vocals over them. But otherwise, I understand why most of those tracks are on a separate album. There'd be quite a lot of overlap in the ideas. If you do just really like how they sound, nothing wrong with listening to them. If you check the Spotify playlist link below, I've sort of hashed out the order for how I would try and combine the 2 albums. You might not agree, but yeah, do stick that on and let me know what you think. Otherwise, just go and listen to the normal record, because again, the point of this video is to make you do that. Just to clarify, yeah, if I'm calling a video listen to this, it's not really an unbiased review. I like it, you should listen to it. That's the point. But that's all we've got time for today, guys. Check out my other videos. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the bell, because I'm a complete YouTube shill, and I will see you next week. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have a listen to Trust in the Life Force of the Deep Mystery, do let me know if you know anything similar that I might enjoy. Also let me know about that as well. It's always good to find new music, and beyond that, I'll see you next week.